Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we're not going to start off this cast with audio issues. Probably. This is the
Right.
Ace
You should
Nectar
be able
Heroes
to
of the
hear me.
Storm casting podcast. I'm still Ektar, he's still Ace and Ace. This game has been a long time coming.
Has it? I mean, it's what week is it? Week 6, 7. Uh-oh, 7. So I guess it's been that long while coming. Ektar, why is this an anticipated match?
Hang on, I'm trying to tell the
Yeah.
third person that you're really not supposed to be in here, but the match started kind of quick.
Lobby setup was great.
I think we hit 14 total inhabitants of the lobby at one point, a little above average.
Correct.
It's an anticipated matchup because neither of these teams have won a match yet. PRA have won 1 map, Murky Chasers have won 0 maps. By the end of this series, one of the teams will have won a match.
And that's
Mathematical
awesome.
mathematical truth, and we're very excited for them.
Unless something unbelievable happens, and I really don't want to believe in it.
I mean, we have literally seen a case where a map would have been tied, and the game just handles that.
Yeah.
The game
I
just
mean something
chooses a
far
winner.
beyond that. I'm talking even dumber. But let's not get into that. Get into what could happen. Let's figure out how we got here, Ektar.
Yeah, we got here by its infernal shrines. Deal with it because we're coming in hot.
Yeah.
We talked all the way through the normal amount of intro time, so you're here with full hero bands and a first pick Johanna coming out from the Murky Chasers.
I stand ready.
Oh, update your
Top
div.
of the they
there
are
you
in
go.
fact
All right.
not an audio issue though, so we take those.
Yep. True. Johanna picked up for Murky Chasers. PRA picks up Vala and Varian. Pretty nothing too spicy coming out. Just little special. This is a Aram special right here. Zul'jin, Rhaegar, Johanna. That is the backbone of any winning Aram comp.
Also a lot of winning QM comps.
And shockingly, a fair number of winning Storm League comps too.
Yeah, and
It's quite good.
I like this opening from Murky Chasers because it leans in really hard to two things that win games. Johanna Rhaegar gives you enough macro for Infernal Shrines. You basically don't need anything extra in the DPS slot. Never hurts, of course, but like Zul'jin, not a macro god, kinda just wins in the late game if you get there. And Johanna and Rhaegar, real good at getting you into the late game. So it's a good kind of fusion of strategies. They do two different things well. Both of them lead to you potentially winning the game.
Yeah, always good to have that outside of just the damage slot. Always very useful for having a damage and a healer take a camp faster. Things like that. Always. That's why Rhaegar has the highest healer win rate. I don't think he is the best healer.
Certainly not.
But I think he does so many things well with regards to good fundamental play that he just wins in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this is like 6 out of 7 very strong heroes, and the only one that's like just fine but not bad is probably Malfurion. But Malfurion pairs very nicely with the Varian, so he gets bumped up a little bit. This is just fine drafting coming out so far.
Yeah, we'll see if any wrenches can be thrown in it to wrap up the Murky Chasers half of the draft. We got a Leo, good wave clear, and a Jaina. Seems fine to me. All quiet on the Chaos front here.
I quite like Jaina. I don't love her for Infernal Shrines, but for the amount of walk forward that we have coming out from PRA, I think Jaina is going to be very impactful post 7.
Yeah, I like... we'll have to see what kind of builds players opt into. Especially at this level, a lot of people have very comfort builds. Oh my goodness, it's a Kerrigan.
Oh my god, Jaina is going to go so hard.
Oh my goodness, please. So I was going to say, a lot of people have their build that they're comfy playing the hero in, and that's perfectly acceptable. But if I would see this as a Jaina and go, oh my gosh, I want to play E-build, oh lord, it would be so good. I want to see an E-build Jaina so bad out of it. So, very excited to see both ends of this. Oh, it's Kerrigan on Infernal Shrines. That's what the big trick is here. That's right. We are on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, Kerrigan, good for map. Little bit scary into Johanna Jaina, but I think it leans into what PRA's comp does pretty well. I see. No, Ace Diamond, I am not the person called Ace, I was the person called Ektar in the lobby.
Ektar is a person called Ektar, Ace is a person called Ace.
PRA's comp, which features Kerrigan being played by Daka, Little Barista playing the Malfurion, Zurg Perm playing Vala, Space Pope on the Varian, and Soul Shepherd on Blaze, wants to win the early game, and I think Kerrigan does that very well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Meanwhile, late game powerhouses on the side of Murky Chasers, especially in Vendetta's Leoric and Luke Murlock's Jaina, along with the Leolisk Zul'jin should be very strong. Rhaegar, played by Into G, and White Buffalo on Johanna wraps out that draft.
We have the auto attack Vala, not unexpected. It's not Emerald Dream, is it? It is Emerald Dreams, yeah, coming out on Malfurion. Lot of damage coming out in the opening salvo. Luke Murlock taking the most of it, but no one taking a particularly large chunk of damage. However, I think Luke Murlock did use the Blizzard, so their wave clear is a little bit less than I think that they want, and there's just stuns hitting on the blue team.
Yeah, this is the level 1 ARM has occurred, and everybody's going to walk away, hit the taps if necessary, and then split to the lanes. I think that favored PRA just a little bit based on the lack of taps needed. White Buffalo is actually in not a great spot, although the Unstoppable will get them out of there for the short term.
It also gave Leolisk a good number of auto attacks, all at below the 50% threshold where he gets extra value out of it. I am a little bit surprised to see just how much ahead in macro PRA have gotten themselves, largely off of the back of a really big Jet Prop and Kerrigan combo.
Yep, they sure are cleaning up them waves a little faster, but again, the remaining members, or everybody else, will be cleaning up. PRA, though, with their macro advantage, is going to be working on that bottom camp, which you are allowed to do if you are ahead in macro. Now, White Buffalo sees this. White Buffalo is 1v4 and should not walk in here, and does not.
Could walk in now that the rest of the team has arrived, and the enemy team is, in fact, 3 heroes and a lane minion, opting to just go for the safer clear, however. We see Blaze beginning to rotate down into mid, maybe going all the way to bot lane, decides better if it's just going to work on clearing, and Leoric is going to match him at a slightly slower tempo. We looks got a little bit of shenaniganry coming out from White Buffalo as he's stepping in onto their opponent's camp, as both of the offlaners are here. This could become a thing.
More chance at esports is indeed. The help ping has been called, but level 4s have been picked up for PRA, so they do have Varian being a strong and swole boy with the extra health based out of the shield, so that should keep him alive a lot better. There's a Kerrigan combo. No taunt came out onto the Jaina, so Space Pope now very low is going to be taken out first. And the Vala very low, 120 health. Easy escape.
You raise the camera with the Z button. You can only do it while observing or in the replay.
And if you're in the game and asking how to do that, you should probably be out of the game. Just saying, if I type in W Ace Diamond, it does say they're in the game. That's a little strange there. First objective spawning here in the middle lane here. First one on it is actually Murky Chasers, because Varian had to wait to arrive. So they're going to pick up 10 skeletal minions very, very quickly, and now PRA is going to push on the point.
Little bit of split focus fire with Soul Shepherd going on to the back and Space Pope going on to the front. Jet Prop is already down, and actually a lot of the most valuable buttons from PRA are down. They don't find a whole lot of value, although Vendetta is getting quite low and Soul Shepherd is out for blood.
Yeah, Vendetta's getting healed up enough, though. Space Pope's going to drop down to 60 health and does survive the Blizzard. Jaina hasn't had quite her power spike yet. There is a big condemn into the middle of the remainder of PRA as Varian went off the tap, and nothing has been found of it. Into G is going to escape just fine, and Vendetta has now respawned, so it will be a 5v5, and Vendetta is here at full health.
Yeah, and they're also already finished the objectives, so nothing more for PRA to do except for a clear mid lane and get behind their own wall. White Buffalo trying to slow him down, but the Punisher's jump does start on cooldown, so not going to be able to get any John Cena slams, but let's see what, if anything, they're going to be able to do off this jump. Leaning more towards if anything.
Yeah, with the towers up, it's difficult to make a whole lot of happen. There isn't a big engage kind of thing either, so they'll take the 2 towers of damage and call it good.
Ooh, good step up coming out from Johanna. Actually gets sub done. Honestly, that's worth a Jaina kill in my book.
Yeah, it was. That was a really cool pull by Docket, though, where the Malfurion roots was down, and Jaina was able to avoid them, but the pull, the Primal Grasp from Kerrigan was able to pull Jaina into that, causing the root into the sleep that caused death. So, nice combo there. That is something to be watching out for.
Got an interesting camp pickup coming out from PRA. You don't tend to see this Bruiser getting picked up at this time, but there weren't any camps on the side of the map for PRA, so they're going to take that camp lead in Kerrigan all alone in bottom lane to get picked up by Murky Chasers.
Yeah, that subdue actually being done created a bigger slow that basically caused a kill to be made. So there you go. There's your Jaina compensation kill there.
And speaking of things related to Jaina, we do have the E-build, which is not a surprise, but you love to see it.
You do love to see it. Ice Flows is such a ridiculous talent.
It really is. Ooh.
And it's so much fun to play, too.
Oh, Barista, you can't step in there. Does get the W check, nicely done, but throws out the E. That's a big cooldown, actually. It's very important for what PRA are trying to do, so not having that available might give an opportunity for Murky Chasers if they find little Barista and absolutely destroy her.
Yeah, it was a little bit of poking in and not found. Space Pope's going to go in, followed up by the Jet Prop. Aleolisk seems perfectly fine, and now this 4v5 down ults is not going to go well for them. Space Pope is going to be taken out here as well, so two kills picked up for the Murky Chasers, and they again have their level 10s just a hair ahead of PRA.
On a technicality, there were no heroics available at the time, but there sure are now. Zed Entomb is going to pick one up, and that is going to secure mid-fort. All but certainly White Buffalo showing some aggression, throwing the Blessed Shield solo onto Vala. They don't have enough follow-up, I don't think, but they find the kill of opportunity onto the Kerrigan.
Yep, now they're pushing on to that mid-wall here. Zergpern is doing a lot of damage, drops a pair of Rain of Vengeances, but isn't going to find anything off of that, and now that's going to leave them unavailable for this next Punisher phase, which is spawning up in the top lane this time. But overall, there will be a lot more ults up immediately. Actually, there'll be 3 ults for each team once this spawns, so with 2 more coming fairly soon after.
Yeah, the Ultralisk coming out is actually a pretty big deal. Space Pope a little bit slow on these taunts, just kind of delaying a little bit. Probably used to letting the slow do a lot of the legwork, but not ripping the taunt immediately means that the root doesn't land either. And once again, we see that Johanna just stepping in. Blessed Shield comes out in a big way! Oh, what a massacre.
That was absolutely disgusting. 2 taken out immediately. A blizzard in the jail. Space Pope's the 4th to go down. There's an Ancestral to keep Vendetta going. Is going to step out of tower range, but that is 4 kills going over to the side of Murky Chasers.
Yeah, Vendetta's actually still looking for Soul Shepherd. He does have the Jet Prop out, so not going to find it. But boy, this team is playing aggressive with a lead.
Yeah, you like to see it. That's one thing that you really do like to see, is a team taking their advantage and then pushing it. So that way you can get more ahead, because that is what you should be doing.
Yep, and you know, we didn't have a particularly good follow-up to John Cena jump earlier. This time White Buffalo's gonna have the Blessed Shield. I'm hoping, for the sake of Murky Chasers, that they can really do something off of a Punisher jump this time.
At the same time, Phoenix Rising Amethyst is definitely needing to play safe and not get immediately popped. by a John Cena jump. There's a camp invade occurring. I guess he'll pick that up and then probably Hearth on back to defend the keep. So yeah, here comes the keep defense from PRA.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses of Malfurion is that he doesn't have a very good cleanse, but it's good enough for John Cena, assuming that it's not a frozen one. Space Pope is going to get jumped on, doesn't even need to be cleansed, as Murky Chaser's not quite far forward enough to take advantage of it, but they might get another opportunity here, and let's see if they're able to capitalize.
Yeah, jump comes up in just a couple seconds here. It's going to jump onto Soul Shepherd and does not actually land. So now Murky Chasers are under towers, but overall are able to escape before the combustion lands. So that is a clean defense from PRA and a good amount of damage dealt by Murky Chasers.
Yeah, and a good getaway too. Their opponents are about to have level 13. You don't want to be under your opponent's keep at the same talent tier most of the time, so gonna step back up, take their opponent's camp as well as their own Bruiser camp. A lot of value to be picked up here for Murky Chasers, and a lot of potential value on the table here in this bottom lane, although only Vendetta has rotated thus far.
Yep, it looks like Murky Chasers are putting everybody into the bottom lane. There's going to be a trickle of people joining up from Phoenix Rising Amethyst after the fort does go down. There are 4 here currently. That is a 4v5. Vendetta looking for an Entomb, does find one on a Docket. Docket's going to just straight up counter-engage that, and it's going to work very well for them. Damage plus a jet prop is coming in. Ancestral lands White Buffalo. Vendetta very low, but is going to be able to make it out, and now without cooldowns, PRA is going to have to run.
Yeah, because Luke Murloc is always going to have cooldowns with this E-build. Doesn't find any additional slows there, so isn't able to keep up with the Conical Machine Gun. Really good, actually, disengage from both teams. And speaking of a trickle of people joining in, thank you, Raka, and welcome to all of the Raiders. We are in Game 1 of Murky Chasers versus Phoenix Rising Amethyst.
Yep, we are level 16 for Murky Chasers. They have been in control of most of this game so far. Phoenix Rising Amethyst trying to find their way to level 16. So they can try and work on this third Punisher phase. Space Pope, you better watch out. You might be invited to a bush party.
Yeah, who taught you guys how to do this? This is Concept. I bet that was Concept's doing.
He does have the concept of that idea.
He has the concept of many things, as brought to you by Hideki Naganuma.
Oh, I like that reference there.
I'm sure you do. We see Murky Chasers using their level advantage to push in and put some pressure on the top keep. Once again, setting up for this awesome bush play, but the DPS not really in a spot to follow up on it, so it's just kind of Vendetta in a rough spot. A big whiff on the Blessed Shield is not going to matter, as Kerrigan is the first to fall. Taz Dingo is popped. Not able to actually parlay into any particularly big damage, but being up that 1 kill probably secures this keep.
Yeah, you think so. Zergpern's also pretty low, so the big damage punish is just not quite there. Big jet prop for 3 could take Johanna very low as her shield's down. That's a takeout. Ancestral does not land in time either, so that's a second kill out onto Vendetta, and that is exactly what Phoenix Rising Amethyst needed.
Yeah, they traded 1 for 2. They didn't lose this keep. I'm blinded. Yeah, this gives them that opportunity to get level 16, get objective, and actually try to get some value on their opponent's side of the map. They're down a building in each lane. Barista in a bit of a rough spot. You can't really be stepping up like that. But Soul Shepherd and Docket most certainly can, as they are going to tear through these skeletal defenders. And there's, I don't think, really all that much that PRA are going to be able to do about it without their Johanna.
No, they can try and make an Entomb combo happen, but, like, you need to be disciplined, fire it, and then leave if that's it. Kerrigan goes into Chrysalis. There's a lot of damage coming out. Space Pope is going to rip off the shield of Luke Murloc there with the Shattering Throw passive. Docket's taking a lot of damage. Does find a jump out onto Rhaegar. Soul Shepherd pops the combustion, only landing on Vendetta. Vendetta is going to take a ton of damage here, is going to be taken out, but the counter grouping is so strong. Look at the Jaina pop off here, picking up 3. Make it 3.
And it's gonna happen.
4!
Johanna steals it.
5.
The other...
There's 4.
The other strong blonde lady took that 5th kill, unfortunate. Luke Murloc We know who did the work there.
Yeah, that was that's where the E-build Jaina with resets is crazy. Numbing Blast on 16 locks enemies down and roots them for 1 second. With a 2-second cooldown, you now have a 50% root uptime, which is absurd.
Yeah, couple that with the shielding on that level 13, which almost certainly was a difference maker in that last fight, and you have a hero that does really well when resorting to violence.
Even though she may hate it, which you know, for someone who really hates violence, she's quite good at it.
Yeah. We don't yet have the 20s picked up for Murky Chasers, so Phoenix Rising Amethyst could try to make a play pushing past John Cena after the first jump, although the timing window on it is going to be pretty tight. I expect they're just going to try to bait this jump and peel very far back, but with a Frozen Punisher and level 20s picked up for their opponents, this is going to be a very rough defense that probably goes onto the core.
Yeah, almost certainly, especially with these katas and camp behind. Good protection there from Space Pope, getting the jump behind the keep there, so the follow-up wasn't really easily found by Murky Chasers. Keep goes down while the Punisher's at about 40% health, so this is going to be a tough defense down level 20s. There is that Kerrigan getting absolutely obliterated. 2-person sleep is pretty good. Silence and Tomb pops the combustion, but Zergpern is taken out as well, and with 3 down on the side of Phoenix Rising Amethyst, it is looking all over except for John Cena's jump.
And that is game 1, and the first game 1 win of the season for Murky Chasers.
It sure is. With that play, that is a little surprising to me. That was quite effective.
I mean, so if anyone out there doesn't know, I was part of placements this season, and D West is a little bit stratified. There is a top, and like an upper middle, and a bottom, but there's not as much of a middle as I would have liked. I'm sorry, it's the best that I could do.
Look, it's a very tough... placements is probably the hardest thing that is done in NGS, and
it's hard out here for a pimp.
You know, you can go off after on that, sure, why not?
I
just followed up with that.
That is a song from a musical. I'm allowed to say that now.
Okay, fair enough. There's never been musicals that have been a problem.
I'm sure there have been, but I don't know that much about musicals.
Me either. Let's look at the stats. I know more about Heroes of the Storm.
Siege damage. Leoric up about 20k on Blaze, but then the combined might of Jaina Zul'jin absolutely thrashing Kerrigan Vala in the siege damage department. So much so, in fact, that Johanna is up over Vala. And I think that siege damage is the least appreciated statistic in Heroes of the Storm. Being up in siege damage frees you up to do other things.
For sure. However, being alive is important, Ektar, and Jaina doubled anybody else's or any enemy's hero damage. Those resets were glorious and brutal if you are a PRA fan.
Jaina, in fact, resorted and found quite a bit of damage. Zul'jin, no slouch, and typically, when you have one side with a preponderance of damage, you tend to see a bit of a compensation in the heal department. Nope. Murky Chasers won out in that statistic too, so really, I think that really most of the numbers indicate that this was largely a pretty convincing victory for Murky Chasers, and I would agree with the statistics.
Game 2 has been made on Towers of Doom.
Do you think that was chosen by PRA or by Murky Chasers?
PRA already said they liked hero pick, so I think they're going with that. So I think that was picked by Murky Chasers.
That's fair. Also,
that is completely opposite of what occurred.
I was gonna say the captain of Murky Chasers posted it, so that's why I'm guessing that they made it. But
yeah, you know
that appears to not be the case.
Okay. Alrighty, our lobby creation has been done. I assume this was picked by PRA then.
It sure appears that way.
And if not, we're probably gonna have to remake the lobby.
Importantly, we have the correct number of people in the lobby this time.
A very important number. 10 plus casters. So, very good. We have one AFK real quick. So let's talk about Towers of Doom. Map can go generally pretty long. You can't just blow up and lose a team fight and lose a fort keep and core all in the same time as you can on, say, Volskaya sometimes.
It's true. It is the most mathematically demanding of the maps. As I watched a map earlier where a team objectively could have won if they played very slightly differently. So they ended up winning a couple of minutes later, but they didn't need to be in that position.
Right, that's the thing. You can have a 100% chance to win, but when you have mate in one, look for better.
Exactly. For anyone that might be wondering, a team won a team fight convincingly, channeled an objective which put their opponents onto 5 core shots, then, like moments later, recapped a keep in bottom lane. So if they would have just gotten the keep first, they'd have put their opponents down to 4 core shots, and then they went and took the boss and put their opponents down to 1, but they could have just ended the video game.
Yep, that is Towers of Doom math, is making sure you look ahead, see what you can get away with, and maximize the amount of core damage, because sometimes you will just win off 1 HP, and it's the greatest feeling comeback in the world. Yeah, what kind of let's do a little bit of looking. PRA, what kind of things would you like to see them change up or do on this map?
I liked most of their draft. I think that the Kerrigan was a little bit of Infernal Shrine's spice, but if they wanted to replace the Kerrigan with something of a more traditional damage dealer, I think that would be very beneficial for them. If they're gonna look to go for a frontline, like front-to-back kind of engage like that, maybe ban the Jaina. I don't know if Murky Chasers play her often, but if they do, and after seeing it, I'd get it out of here if I want to go front to back.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, to be perfectly fair. I think one of the big things is that the Jaina was feasting on that triple frontline style where we had, a bulky tank, a bulky blaze offlane, and the melee assassin that also just kind of runs in from the front. So, that's also something that a ranged DPS would do, is cut down on the amount of Jaina value that was gained as well. I do see a Chromie played by PRA with a win. So I think she's particularly strong on the map, and I think that would be a very solid pickup.
Yeah, what you tend to see most often on this map is an offlaner that can double soak, preferably a global hero somewhere, and a mage-style hero that will post up in bottom lane and make it impossible for your opponents to siege. So, Chromie, Gul'dan to a lesser extent, Tassadar to a lesser extent, Kael'thas kinda. Someone that can blow up the minion waves so fast that the opponents can't just stand there and get siege damage without some kind of additional factor, like beetles or time traps or Sylvanas.
Yep, well, Kael'thas has been banned out, but I still think that Chromie on the table is a very solid pickup. So, Rhaegar coming in again for Murky Chasers, I think that's, again, very solid.
He's the healer that can help take camps.
Yep, he sure does do that. Hogger, speaking of really good camp take and just a really good hero overall, along with the Vala running back again. Seems like the start of a Grandmaster draft to me.
Nah, Hogger would have been banned out.
You're right. If these bans were given, this is the start of the draft.
That is fair. Go ahead and get in that channel point prediction if you're so inclined. Got 5 minutes on the clock, about 4 minutes when you hear this. And yeah, we're gonna keep on trucking. Zul'jin getting picked up once again. Was reasonably effective in the previous game. I would say probably not the reason they won, but wasn't holding the team back either.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if he goes as well with Zul'jin or with Anubarak as, say, Johanna, but nonetheless, I think it'll be a good pickup. So
Mephisto getting banned out is interesting. Obviously, they've done more scouting on this than we have, but this isn't typically what you think of as a Mephisto map, necessarily.
At the same time, every map can be a Mephisto map if the Mephisto is scary enough.
That's fair. And
what a hero.
I'm reasonably certain that Anduin is one of Little Barista's more preferred healers. So seeing it get banned out here is not terribly surprising. He's just also generically good, but the teams have seemed to be doing more target banning than meta banning. As speaking of unstandard compositional styles, Deckard Cain Muradin coming in. That is a jump forward style comp if I have seen one tonight. And I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah, I mean, this is a whoop in with Muradin, dive in with Hogger kind of comp. Vala can vault in as well, and Deckard has a fairly long range with his triangle follow-up, so I think that's quite good. Malthael picked up along with the Jaina running it back, so I definitely want to see ranged here from Soul Shepherd.
Speaking of heroes that doesn't particularly mind having the enemy team walk forward at them, they did it again.
That's not a ranged hero.
That's so wild.
Oh boy.
Murky Chasers doing good on their name and putting the gun outside of the barrel of fish that are PRA's front line. That was an extended metaphor.
Yeah, just a bit. You know, if you can kill the Jaina before she casts a single E, though, or even two necessarily, because you have to get the chill damage to get that shield, you do have a leap, hortipult, jump, plus deletion capabilities before that combo can get started. But after that, you gotta find the kill.
There is, in fact, a lot of holding forward on the side of Phoenix Rising Amethyst, who are in the red trunks, like I forgot to say in the previous game, with not Lieutenant Barista playing the Deckard Payne, Zurg Pern on the Vala, Space Pope on Muradin, Soul Shepherd on the Sonya, and not having left the core yet is Docket playing Hogger.
Battle begins in 10 seconds.
And reprising 60% of their team this time are the Murky Chasers in the blue trunks. We have Into-G playing Rhaegar, Luke Murloc on the Jaina, and Leo Lesk on the Zul'jin again. This time, though, we have White Buffalo on Anubarak and Vendetta on the Malthael.
Alright, cool. I can continue to have respect for Little Barista with their talent choices on Deckard Cain. Once again, auto attack build on the Vala. Ooh, got Whoop coming out from Space Pope. Love to see it with an aggressive style composition. And yeah, mostly I'd say pretty standard looking talents, although you don't always see Beetle build coming out from the Anubarak. Ooh, Space Pope in a bit of a spot though.
Yeah, oh good. I wasn't sure if Jump got eaten or if it was the Impale. Good counter. Into-G's gonna take a lot of damage. Gonna take a ton of damage with the stun, and PRA's going to pick up first blood of this game.
Yeah, and I think that Rhaegar and Malthael are probably the easiest of the targets on the side of Murky Chasers for them to engage on, so they found a good target there in the slightly less mobile than the rest of the team, Rhaegar. Although I really think probably Malthael is like your best kill target. I wonder if we don't see a Tormented Souls here.
I would like to see a Tormented Souls. I think it's very effective here. When you're against very static... actually, let's hold this thought. There's an invade coming in, or maybe coming in.
There sure is, as we already have both offlaners here at the same time. Big engage coming up from White Buffalo. Blizzard getting a lot of damage in, but not having the CDR as found on level 7 to turn that into a bloodbath. merely wounds being exchanged on both sides.
Yeah, those fights will be, again, it's on the execution of PRA for them to find somebody and delete somebody. They are on the onus of that. If a fight goes long, Murky Chasers will take the advantage. So that's a dynamic we're really looking for in these team fights, as well as a dynamic of winning the offlane. That's very effective.
It sure is. More so on this map than most, even. Missing out on a little bit of a soak opportunity for that kill, because there's minions dying in the mid lane, but absolutely worth it for getting the kill. White Buffalo in a spot, as they're going to get taken out. Luke Murloc does get cleansed, but basically that quarter-second route was enough. PRA, we said they had to play holding forward, and hold forward they have.
I understand that as a general feel of FPS game style of run at the enemy, do not be scared. It is still very funny to think of that in a Heroes of the Storm context.
Yeah. Always Last
work.
Rites.
I mean,
I think Last Rites is still a reasonable pickup. But if one was going to find a Tormented Souls game, I think you could find not many better ones. Kill getting picked up onto the Hogger, so that is going to secure bottom objective in favor of Murky Chasers. It looks like the offlaners exchanging some flavor text damage are just going to eventually get to their own channels and then presumably get back into the soak game.
Well, as I was saying before, the invasion's coming down, since people have run back to the Tormented Souls Last Rites discussion. Tormented Souls is very good against more flighty frontline, so Murden has mobility, there's mobility on the Hogger, even a little bit on the Sonya's. Lil Barista is going to take a ton of damage, is going to try and self-potion to victory, and does so, and escapes. So being able to, you're not going to get those cleaving autos and general E-hits as easily. So having Tormented Souls to easily apply the Reaper's Mark is very, very effective. Plus, it reactivates your Wraith Strike, which, if you take percent damage on 16, can do a lot of damage.
We do have another attempted camp invade, this time coming out from Murky Chasers. It is a 5v4 in their favor, but the camp was already picked up by PRA, and so they're going to start losing out a little bit in the soak game, as we actually have had a offlane replacement coming out, Hogger taking over for Sonya in that regard. And I like that they're utilizing that additional flexibility they have with the double front line. A nice disengage coming out from Barista.
Yep, the Sapphire was big there. White Buffalo got caught, and I believe it was Jaina. Luke Murloc there was almost hit as well. So Soul Shepherd gonna take a lot of damage. Good save from Lil Barista, but she is low on mana. There is an engage coming from Space Pope that is not being reciprocated by the rest of the team. That is a scary moment.
Speaking of the teams not reciprocating, we was gonna say we hadn't had a rotation yet from PRA, as Malthea was in a position to try to channel their opponent's objective, and he's actually just going to take this 1v1, and I think that's totally reasonable decision here, as the rest of the team was much closer, although Space Pope is going to whoop on in there and even the odds a little bit. But with the left side being channeled already, we see Murky Chasers with that sort of patented aggression we saw in Game 1 and the E-resets online, trying to find some additional value here.
Yep, Luke Murloc's got 2 hits available, but Space Pope and Soul Shepherd have walked away. Lives intact for now. Docket's going to take a good pile of damage, but everybody's been pushed off. White Buffalo actually is going to be jumped on by Space Pope, who has absolutely no way out and is going to be taken out for that stall.
Yeah,
so
looks like we had Soul Shepherd back during that, so it was a 5v4 for a bit of an extended period of time there. So eventually, numbers just kind of won out for Murky Chasers.
Yep, that should, for the most part, be the last major 4v4 plus fight pre-level 10. So we'll see how those mobility ults do for Phoenix Rising Amethyst. Again, even if it's not Hortipole and it is just Shockwave, it's a ranged stun. Leap going to be very impactful as well. Rain of Vengeance is an effective follow-up, so there's going to be a lot in the tube for PRA making these engagements happen. Post level 10, please.
We do have the Last Rites, which, again, not a surprise, but
no.
could have made a case. The other 4 heroics are as one would expect. We do have the Leap and the Hortipult. Rain of Vengeance, yeah, I would say pretty much 10 out of 10 expected heroics coming out from both teams.
Can I give it a 9.5 if I kind of thought Playmaker was going to get taken?
No. You didn't think that.
You're probably right, but I wouldn't be. It was the tormented souls of Muradin ults.
I'm not even convinced that that's the case. We do have an aggressive play coming out from Murky Chasers. They get the Cocoon. Barista is there with the nice disengaged sleep. White Buffalo doesn't have their E available. Could look to find something, putting a lot of damage into Leolisk, who is going to pop the Taz Dingo, gets healed up, and gets dropped down again. Mini Pots on the ground, and we have Malthael getting killed again. We had a off-lane murder-suicide.
I don't know if it was suicide as much as the Reaper's Mark taking its toll in the end. Space Pope out of health for now, gonna have to let that second wind tick up. Zergpern's getting in a lot more damage here as this fight goes along. White Buffalo has dove in and is going to take a lot of damage. There's a huge amount of Cone of Cold chill coming through, though, as Leolisk is stepping up to deal a lot of follow-up damage, is finishing this quest a lot sooner as well.
Yeah, big jump in from White Buffalo, but that is going to seal their doom, and a big two-person route is going to probably find at least one more, probably 2 more kills. We do have the leap coming on just online there, and that is going to be one of the 2. It looks like Intag will probably get out of there, as they couldn't find the stun from Docket. To the earlier murder-suicide question, I think it has to have been a Last Rites kill, because we can see the stack.
Ooh, very, very true. Very prudent. Yeah, so that's what happened there. I think Murky Chasers had to have picked up. Yeah, Murky Chasers got the bell tower, but Phoenix Rising Amethyst got the kills. Now, despite being up 4 kills, the soak factor is in a major way, or is rather even overall, which means the minions are ahead for Mercury Chasers in a major way.
Yeah, we have another big engage attempt coming out. A nice route is going to find Luke Verloc into a bad spot. We get 2 kills with 1 counter kill coming out. That almost certainly has to favor Phoenix Rising. Malthael is definitely considering evening the odds here, and Sonya's pretty nearby, so that could be a bit of a risky play. No objective is up quite yet, so these kills aren't going to lead to any core damage, but this fort is going to start taking some real pain. And Leolisk is in a diveable position, although he does have the Taz Dingo.
Check mid. There's a fight coming out
Why?
in mid again.
Why?
There was a leap into some more stuff. Meanwhile, in bottom lane now, Leolisk is getting jumped upon. Does not have the removal. I thought he gained his move speed back a little fast, but nonetheless was able to dodge. Now this is a 5v4 capable here in the very bottom. It looks like Phoenix Rising Amethyst is going to pick up the bottommost altar with Deckard Cain, but would be ill-advised to go in on this. Space Pope goes in a moderately ill-advised fashion, but is going to pop the Avatar. Ancestral lands onto Vendetta, who does survive. Ancient Blessings coming out, almost making the difference there. Again, in a 4v5, and that will be 1 kill going over to Murky Chasers there.
Why the fuck is this match so good?
It's a banger of a match. It's go, go, go. Watch this. I bet there's going to be a leap in the top lane. Watch this. Boom! Goes in, hits the spear, slams down. Boom! Kill for Soul Shepherd. Let me tell you, I know what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
tell me there's not about to be a burr charge of this fucking camp, too.
Oh man, channeling the spirit beast Mylian here.
Integ getting kind of low. And yeah, we see the 4v4 aggressive positioning coming out. Gonna end up with basically a camp for no buttons coming out in favor of Murky Chasers, getting both in bottom lane, but losing their off laner.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna quick. Nope, esports is occurring. Jaina's in a big spot. Dodges a lot of the CC with that ice block, which is a very solid play. Ancient Blessings is out, but now Space Pope is gonna have to run. There's no DPS to follow up until Vala gets out of that cocoon. Docket is going to Hortipult out and does so successfully. Now Space Pope waiting on that whoop, has 1 second. and doesn't even need it. Zergpern's going to vault away as well. And
Leap is available.
Oop, here it is. Here it comes, right on White Buffalo. There it is. Leaps in. That's a kill for Soul Shepherd. Okay, I was doubting the Sonya in the draft. It has produced positive value in this game in a pretty significant way.
Soul Shepherd is not going to get the opportunity to stop Vendetta. Gonna casually go to their opponent's side because they know the rest of the team is going to be coming up soon. However, Vendetta has a last right available.
That's just a clean kill immediately.
You fool!
That's a even trade. It is Space Pope's taking a crap ton of damage and is slowed from the Jaina Chill. Big rubies in there, going to be more than an ancestral worth of heals if they can get to him, which they do not. Zergper now being run down by the Water Elemental and company, and that is 3 kills for Murky Chasers.
How is it only 22 kills? It feels like it's been a 46 kill game.
Because we're only 12 minutes in. That's still a rate of nearly 2 kills a minute.
Yeah, sometimes we refer to games that have a high tempo as having gas, gas, gas. I think they've gone straight past gas into turbo fuel, that stuff that powers jet engines. Oh my god.
Yeah, anymore, and we're going to hit rocket fuel tech as well. It is going all the time. This is a fun one to watch here, as Murky Chasers seem to have the upper hand on this map for sure, with a bell tower taken, and despite the very even nature of most of these exchanges, PRA is sitting on 8 health right now, and that's not exactly the spot you want to be in. And there's a boss and 1 altar available on the next phase here.
Yeah, White Buffalo is sharking, or at least giving the illusion of sharking, because the rest of the team was a little bit too far back to have followed up on anything. Space Pope sniffs out what's happening, decides better of it, although Sonya's here now, we're gonna see a leap. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm so surprised.
You are not in tempo with Soul Shepherd here. There might have to be a leap of weight. White Buffalo is going on an extravagant flank.
Nah, here it is.
Yeah,
great heal coming out from Integ, though. What Space Pope takes a truckload of damage, is going to be the first to fall. Hogger barely makes it out. The tower does not get that, but Sonya does not have a leap available. Does not have the ability to cleanse slows, and is going to get stunned out there in a very Kira-esque fashion.
Kira Pain. Most interruptible hero in the game, other than maybe Yrel. But that's 3 kills, and that means this could be danger o'clock for PRA. Docket's going to get taken out as well. 2 sappers scored. That's not going to create any difference in mathematical position. But
Murky Chasers could just be channeling and taking boss to win the game. I don't think that they've quite identified the math here. Zergpern, in a very interesting spot, is going to get taken out by White Buffalo, and Legalist. Little Barista is getting chunked quite low as well. There is a play happening. I don't want to guess at what it is because we still see Vendetta in top lane. It looks, though, like we are running for boss now that the 1 core hit point has been identified.
Ektar, this would be... Oh no, bye Lil Barista. She has walked into the wrong bush. Here comes the leap out, but Vendetta will not die to such simple means this time. Finds 2 more kills, and that is going to all but seal the doom for Phoenix Rising Amethyst.
I'm sweating. This game got me physically warm.
Perspiration has occurred as a result of this game. Let it be known. Although it is a 2-0, that was a banger of a game, especially here on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, like, God, they're just constantly throwing non-literal haymakers because we don't talent into that here.
Zul'jin leading the way in the damage this time. The Jaina definitely mattered, but it was not in nearly the brutal fashion that was the previous game. Definitely felt a lot more based on the Zul'jin acquiring damage and the stuns working out for Murky Chasers as well.
Zul'jin actually self-healing for a very respectable amount that game as well. Like, it's not a statistic I tend to talk about, but more than half of what either of the healers did is like really not insignificant.
No, but I will counterpoint. He kills himself half to death and then heals it. It's the Jimmy Neutron of self-healing.
It's incredibly intelligent, brain blast style. I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Causes the problem and then fixes it and is hailed the hero.
I see. Once again, we see siege damage being 1. Actually, that's not true. Yes. Siege damage being 1 out by the side of Murky Chasers in the off lane, up about 20k on the Sonya. However, that's pretty much made up for on the fact that Hogger Vala are up quite a significant amount on the Jaina Zul'jin. So really just off the back of taking good advantages off of team fights more than anything.
Yeah, don't forget there was the offlane switch.
Raw damage. That's true.
So the damage, as you can see, was kind of split between the Sonya and the Hogger. So see if anybody wants to chat about that game. Because
I don't know who it would be.
You could reach to the captain and then see if they designate somebody.
Yeah, I think we're just going to hop into a public lobby and hope somebody joins us. I told Concept to send somebody. Alright, so I have it on good authority. Someone will be joining for a post-match interview.
Excellent. That is the important part, because otherwise I would have had to step in and there we go.
I'm so excited.
Hello.
It's the name that I didn't get wrong at all. Hi, Enteg.
Hello.
Congratulations on your first not only map win, but match win in NGS.
Thank you. It has been a fun journey for us to improve and understand how NGS is different than, other game types, right? It's just a whole different beast from quick match or whatever. So it's been super fun this season, just watching us slowly improve.
Yeah, so for anyone out there who is not familiar, and I imagine that's most of the people watching, if I understand correctly, largely your team is comprised of people who played Quick Match and ARAM as their primary game modes, and this is their first kind of foray into the drafted experience. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Most of us, a lot of us don't even Storm League, really. So,
a lot of us really met playing ARAM, right, Integ?
Yeah. So this is a whole different beast. NGS is a whole different beast. But like I was telling everyone else on our team, the cool thing about NGS is if you've never done it before, it makes HOTS seem really fresh, like a whole new game, which is awesome.
Yeah. I'm a little bit biased since I've been in NGS for a minute, but I tend to agree. Even compared to playing in Storm League when you end up with two teams that happen to be 5 stacks, it still doesn't quite feel the same.
Sure.
But by a little bit.
Expectations, yeah. It definitely feels very different of like where you're expecting the team to do here versus even playing Storm League against a 5 stack that looks like they really know what they're doing.
But it's been really great. Even our losses, sometimes the losses have been hard because we've almost won. But we've just used every one as a learning opportunity and gone in and done the VOD reviews and just tried to glean what we could and work on strategy. And here we are. Yay!
So, perchance, are either of you have a say in how the team does your drafting?
Drafting is one of those things that we have worked on as a team. And so a lot of us have, I think we've really kind of had to learn what each of our own individual strengths are in terms of the depth of our own individual characters. And then as a team, we know, for instance, we know we team fight well. Regardless of, a macro or the things that we're still learning, we know we team fight pretty well. So we just try to draft around that, what gives us the best CC chains, what gives us the best opportunity to win a team fight. So there's not one person who makes the call on drafting. It's just something we've all been learning as we go.
And I think some of us get like I make spreadsheets and I get like into it just planning it out, but like I'm not telling people what we should pick. Sometimes we just try different things that everyone really suggests. And I kind of like we have different styles I think for drafting too.
Well, I think, especially in game one, I think you had a really solid draft. You leaned into the team fight, but also you had enough macro options that you weren't just pigeonholed into the team fighting. And somewhat of a small spoiler if you're gonna go back and watch the stream VOD later. Whoever's idea it was to put Luke Murloc on Jaina, give him a raise.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, he's
Murloc is
great
a
on that. Yeah,
strong Jaina player. Yeah, he's really good.
killer Jaina.
Yeah, we didn't have anything to say about it. He just came to us like that. When he joined our group, he just happened to be just really solid Jaina player. So, bonus.
We encourage it.
Yeah, I am the world's worst Jaina player, so I'm glad we have a solid Jaina on our team.
For me, Jaina is the same as Jim Raynor, where people that play them very well can do things that I genuinely don't understand, and people that can't just absolutely feed their ass off. And
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
like in when I'm solo queuing, it's always the latter variety on my team.
What do you mean?
Understood.
Ring of Frost is a great initiating tool and not the best follow-up CC in basically the entire game.
No, not at all.
So, I like to ask questions about teams' draft strategy during these interviews, but you sort of preempted kind of my biggest one, which is like, what is your plan going into these drafts? But you already said it's attempt to leverage your stronger team fights.
Well, I guess I can expound on that. I can expound on that a little bit, unless you go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
So in both games, PRA kind of played a front-to-back 3 melee style. Is that a sort of enemy team comp you're comfortable going against, or do you see it particularly often?
I don't know. I don't think we normally see 3 melee at once. Like, that's why I went totem build on Rhaegar twice. So because I knew that with 3 of them being in the front line, I was going to have just basically infinite slow on them. And to my surprise, I think they had Vala twice.
They did.
They didn't. That Vala was. I expected her to just take down my totem instantaneously, like every time, and most of the time that didn't really happen. So, but that was the reason I went totem, was just to try and keep them slowed and give us that kind of advantage. But in terms of I mean, we tend to brawl pretty well, but I would say most of the teams that we've seen this season have been more mage focused than melee focused, But I don't. So as we alluded to earlier, we spent years playing ARAM, where all you do is brawl against whatever comp comes at you, game after game after game, and so we're pretty used to just kind of whatever the game throws at us, I guess. But So in terms of a strategy, we all know who plays what tunes really well, and so what we just try to do ahead of time, if possible, is look at what role we're gonna do, and then so if they ban my first healer, for instance, I'll go to my second. If they ban my second healer, I'll go to my third. That kind of thing. Sometimes we'll have to switch mid draft. Someone will have to switch roles, because you know how it goes. Sometimes something just gets banned, or it throws a huge wrench, and you have to switch your strategy. But in general, I think that's our approach. We know basically what we would like to play, and then we just kind of see how it plays out from there based on bans.
So I've got sort of one more question I thought of that applies more to your team in particular than most. How have you been finding either dealing with or integrating into your own play the heroes which are not available in ARAM, or which have their talents significantly modified in ARAM? So, like, there's no Sergeant Hammer or Leoric, which you did obviously play this series. So are there any of those kind of heroes that have either been kind of a boon to add to your playstyle or a thorn in your side in dealing with?
I think I should let Vendetta answer this, since he's an ace Leoric player and an ace Hammer player. So Vendetta, you feel that.
I think I actually like a lot of those heroes that you can't play in ARAM, like Hammer, but there's a couple of them that we haven't had a lot of practice with since NGS is different. Like I'd like to field Hammer a bunch and kind of build a team around it, but we probably need more practice, honestly. So we're not doing that too much. But Lyric, I'm super comfortable with, and you never get to play that in ARAM, so I really enjoy having a chance to play that more seriously in a type of game like this.
Very cool. Thank you for letting me pick your brain. Ace, do you have anything for our guests?
No, just be sure to watch back that game number 2. That was a we were really having a good time with that one.
All right. Yeah, we will. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time. It was lovely to speak with you.
Yeah, and
Yeah, thank you.
before you head off, we're going to throw it back to you guys for any shoutouts that you might have.
The only shout out I have is we have a couple of guys, Concept and Alpharak, that they play on a Heroic League team, and they've come in and looked at a couple of our VODs and helped us out, just giving us some advice. And I really appreciate both those guys for taking the time to just explain some of the basic stuff. You know, when we were really getting up and going and whatnot, it's nice to have someone more experienced come in and kind of give you their perspective and show you the ways that you could improve. And those two in particular have just been really cool, Alpharak and Concept, about taking time and helping us out. So shout out to both those guys. They're awesome.
Yeah, those are some pretty big names.
Yeah.
Congratulations once again on your 2-0 victory. It hasn't happened yet, so if your captain needs a refresher on how to actually report a match, feel free to reach out to any of the div mods or myself. And
oh, thank you. Actually, she was just mentioning that.
Asking about that, yeah. And
Yeah,
honestly, we should give a shout out to her as well. She's been really instrumental in helping us figure everything out. And
Angel is my wife, and she has been fantastic about helping us get organized and working as our team captain and whatnot. So shout out to my wife. Shout out Angel. She's sitting right behind me.
That's really sweet.
And I will have her reach out to the div leaders, or maybe even you, Ektar, if she has questions about what to do here, how to move forward with the win and what she has to do now.
Absolutely, feel free anytime.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. You guys have an outstanding evening.
Yeah, have a great rest of your night.
thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Jeez.
I don't like that Discord makes me confirm moving channels.
Yeah, for some reason, mine didn't do that there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't understand exactly. So, it'd be like that.
All right. Well, really fun series, actually. We are certainly not on pace to getting character illustrations from our esteemed headcaster, but it's fun anyway. We don't do it for the stuff. Mostly because I'm in charge of the stuff, and I'm lazy, so people haven't been getting stuff because they haven't been asking me for it.
Fair enough. That is how it goes. There.
Ace, you got
Match just started.
Got anything before we get on out of here?
I do not. Just good shout out, or again, great set. Hope the teams continue to improve and do well.
Yeah, and sincerely, I hope that PRA are able to rally and find their own success in future series, because they're such a nice team.
Yeah.
Again, if you don't know, PRA was the bottom of Division E, 0-24 records for 3 seasons in a row, and Barista has stuck with it. There's been a lot of personnel turnover, but a lot of people have stuck around as well, and genuinely such a heartwarming team to see the rise in the Amethyst stonks.
Yeah, I would not be I do not have such gusto.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
do not have the fortitude for that either.
Yep. Wouldn't do it.
All right, that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you everyone for coming by. We're on a 45-second delay, so I'm just going to hit the raid initiation now and put us onto the end screen, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Peace.